the Triad UCC for February. Let me get my cursor back over here. This one does entail 3 counties. Welcome, Robert. Here is a message from our executive director, Mr. Louis Panzer. We're surveying companies who were deemed to have caused a no-call damage to professional excavators that are out there digging without a 1-call ticket. And the names of those companies were provided to us by Duke Energy and P&G. So there's roughly 600 emails that were sent out with the link to the surveys as to why they did not call. They're trying to determine that. And once that information gets rolled up, a paper will be published with the results. January has been good operationally for 811. We are expecting the spring rush, so in anticipation for that, we've hired 4 new CSRs and 3, which brings us to a total of 48 CSRs. 3 of the CSRs are bilingual, speak Spanish. Now I do have some handouts, a homeowner brochure, what we call the all-in-one. You can grab those if you're interacting with any of the Spanish community to let them know what they are supposed to do if they want to excavate, either in their home or as a professional. And then the excavation guides, if you run into somebody who does it for a living, I would suggest giving the excavation guides because it is in English and in Spanish, and it lets them know the law. This is a reminder, if you internally are locating or have a contractor externally locating for you, you're supposed to put at a minimum the beginning, the end, and every 200 linear foot in between your operator ID, right? Doesn't become a big deal when it's the energy company or the gas company because they have agreements where nobody can encroach on them. But the telecom community, the AT&T, the Verizon, the Google, the Duke Energy putting their own fiber in, when they're all laying on the same side of the road, becomes an issue when you nick one or actually tear one in two. You don't know who to call. If they're putting their operator ID on there and identifying themselves when they're locating, and flags will suffice, but I do tell folks, if you flag it only, somebody pulls your flags up, then your ID is gone. So every now and then, go ahead in conjunction with your flags, make sure you mark it on the ground in paint as well. Now, you must perform a site visit if evidence exists that a facility, regardless of the positive response status, and you roll out there and a facility exists that was not marked, by law, you're supposed to spool up a 3-hour, give them a chance to go out there to locate that facility to protect it, right? That's the first line of defense, is a good locate. And as a reminder, the law does require you to check your positive response before you go out. Last but not least, stay warm. Spring is 2 months away. I understand tomorrow is supposed to be super nice, somewhere close to the 80s. So we're rolling around, my windows down and arm hung out so I can brown this side of my body. Again, this is Robert alluded to. This UCC used to be fairly substantial. We'd like to get those numbers up. So please, if you know anybody, utility representatives, government agencies, contractors, if you have contractors that work for you, I know USIC doesn't have contractors, but if you got contractors that install your pipe, or invite them in here. It doesn't have to be the actual laborer, but maybe a supervisor or even a foreman over that crew will be great. New banners. I've got some banners. I went by yesterday to pick them up. We've got the new banners out. So if you would like a banner to display, we want to put them in a high visibility area. A lot of traffic goes through there. They can see it. I was in Dunn yesterday at Cherry's Bakery, and when I went out to load my car, a lady engaged me. She said, 811. So we called them to have the utilities located for digging in the yard. I said, yes, ma'am. He said, oh, well, that sounds really good. I'm glad I saw your car. There's still people out there that don't know it. The cars are a great message. These banners, they're static, but they're still a great message to get out there and let folks know that is the law. If you do get one, I do ask you that there's a QR code scan thing right here. You just populate that information in there once you scan that QR code. If you would like one or two, just let me know. I've got them in the car, and I'll populate a little form and let them know who's got it. We're trying to keep up with who's got the banners this time. Then, of course, the only place you can get them is the UCC. All right, let's take a look at the numbers. So we're looking at January of 22 versus last month, and you can see the locate request increased 20.16. So Ann asked me yesterday how much they did increase. So we have a 208,988 requests that were generated last month for locates versus 173,000 the year before. As you can see, this is the only month that it happens in, but the year to date will be exact same number as the monthly total because we're only looking at 1 month for year to date. Across state of North Carolina, again, 16.1 was the transmission increase. Again, as a reminder for every ticket that is generated, hey, I need 123 North Main Street located. There's approximately 5.3 to 5.4 transmissions for those utility owners. Once that polygon is drawn and we find out what utilities are involved. So for sites, the 3-hour increased slightly, not much, 8.7. New tickets, 2.7, and the ticket updates, 10.8. They had an average locate per day last month, 280. Stokes, the 3-hour increased 111% from 9 to 19. Not a big number, but the new ticket count went up as well, 469 last month as a 78% increase. Ticket updates went from 95 to 321, 237.9% increase. Average locates per day, 42. And Davie County, the 3-hour increased 194.1%. You can see it went from 17 to 50. The new tickets, 93.9%, 929, and the ticket updates, 405 last month, 153.1% increase. Average locates per day, 71. So out of the 5,604 that were called in for sites, you can see Clemens made the list, High Point, Kernersville, Louisville, Poffstown, and obviously Winston-Salem always comes out on top. Why we can't get representation here from Winston-Salem when they having the most tickets generated, I'm probably not sure. Even Piedmont Natural Gas didn't show up today in any of their contractors. Stokes, 834, and you can see Lawsonville had 122. And then Davie out of 1,414, you can see Advance made the list, Coolamy, and then Moxville, 684. So out of the damages that reported to NC 811 last month, you can see Davie had 6, Forsyth had 21, and Stokes had 2. Some important dates that are coming up. The North Carolina Underground Damage Prevention Review Board is going to meet Tuesday, April 18th, 10 a.m. That's going to be at the NC 811 Event Center. If you would like to know more about that, you can go to their own website. The URL is right here, and you can find out how you can dial in to listen to that session. State UCC, March 21st, 10 a.m. That's going to take place at Dominion Energy, and that's going to be in Raleigh. For more location info, you can go to the ncucc.org website to get that address. And the North Carolina Locate Resolution Partnership Committee is going to meet March the 22nd. That's a Wednesday at 11, again, at the NC 811 Event Center. That one will be a hybrid meeting. So if you can't physically be there, just like I try to do, most of my meetings, if not all of them, have the hybrid ability. So if you can't physically be here, you can jump online to join as well. I'm not going to talk about these because they are gone. I should have dropped that slide out. This is the North Carolina, South Carolina Joint UCC Conference that's going to take place May the 3rd through the 5th, and that's going to be at Cherokee. I'm asking all of the chairs, co-chairs, and secretaries if they can attend to attend. Has anybody ever been besides Robert before? You guys ever been to one? Great networking. It's a good time to meet your counterparts in the industry, and sometimes even the folks you work for as well will be there. And there's golf on Wednesday. Let me make sure there's golf on Wednesday if you golf. Wednesday night will be a social hour with heavy hors d'oeuvres, and then the business meeting part actually starts Thursday morning, runs all day Thursday. There'll be a dinner Thursday night. It'll pick back up Friday morning, and they'll run to about noon, 12 noon, to give everybody time to drive back home. So if you've never been and you can get permission to go from your company, I would suggest it. I've been to quite a few of them, not only with Piedmont, but as a liaison for North Carolina 811. Calendar. If you want to know what's going on within the NC 811 world, two great places, the NC 811 calendar. You can find that on our website or the app or the ncucc.org website to find out where the local UCCs are going to be and even state. Northfield, so introducing Dig Logics. It is a full service ticket submission and management system for excavators. Ticket creation and tracking doesn't have to slow down the progress of your work. Are you an excavator or a utility locator who wants to locate utilities with swiftness so you can begin to dig? Are you guys using this or use a different system? Okay. Is your current ticket submission and management submission slowing down your project? Contact Northfield. Contact Northfield for pricing. So some of the things you can do on here is you can create and track tickets automatically. You can verify clients, receive instant notification of positive response. So it's a great, it's just another tool under the Northfield blanket that you can utilize out there in the field. There's your NC 811 education team. And again, thank you. A copy of this presentation along with the video minutes, and then I'll take a picture of the sign in and upload it with a PDF so you can check it out at a later date. All right, team, that's all I've got. So we can go around the room and let us know of any projects that are going on within the 3 counties, the Northwest Triad here, or any issues you're having out in the field.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you.
You're new?
Yeah,
Yep.
I've been here 2 weeks now, so I'm just getting my hands wrapped around everything. There's a few things that I've seen, but not enough to where I can give you like 100% of everything. By the next UCC meeting, I'll know more and I'll have a better answer for you.
Okay, and as a reminder, this one does meet every other month. It won't meet next month, but month after we'll be back here. Okay. All right, Andy, what you got for us, buddy? Besides the 19 miles that Duke Energy Contractors keeps calling in and updating, and we know they're not working on the whole 19 miles.
Other than that, we got a project that's fixed to start up in Cooley, probably won't get till September. We're in the process of building a new water plant. We're gonna run several miles of new 16-inch water line from Cooley into Moxfield.
Okay. Is the old water plant in Cooley now? So you guys are building a new water plant, running a new line, and then you're gonna run taps off of those lines.
Now, that'll be just a distribution line to the tank here.
Okay.
Because I think that we're already tied into Moxville, we're building a new plant, get it in service. Then we will probably feed water to the town of Moxville.
And you're not currently doing that?
Well, we can if we need to. But I think their plant's getting pretty old. Our plant in Cooley's getting pretty old. So
Right.
I think they're gonna start probably buying water from us. But we've got 2 plants. We've got one on the North Yankton and one on the South Yankton.
Okay.
And Yadtail is also working in the county here as well. They're working on the east side and the west side. They're putting in fiber optic cable. It's gonna be probably a 2-year project.
Yeah, everybody's doing the fiber overbuilds. That's the majority of the work around the whole state, really.
Well, what they're doing is they're getting fiber to the home, because like when the COVID hit, a lot of people, couldn't do the stuff at home on a computer.
Yep.
As far as kids getting schoolwork
Yep.
done. But
Okay.
as far as, a USIC locate guy, he does an excellent job. Ryan does a good job. The only thing I wish, if we call in an emergency at night, somebody would contact me back a little sooner than. But sometimes I have to wait 3 hours and I still haven't heard from them, and I'm sitting out here with people out of water, and I don't know whether you're coming or whether you're not.
I'll get that there.
But I do have some of the guys' contact numbers, which one of them, the one that's here in the county that stays here, after 5 o'clock, you ain't gonna get him unless he's on call that week.
All right.
But, I did have an incident the other day with the heat consultants.
And relocate for Piedmont Natural Gas.
Right. Went out to do a project, had the gas marked on this side of the road, where it was at over there. But the water, my water main's on this side, so I had to come over here and dig on my water main side. Just as we were digging, got about that far, and found a 2-inch gas line. Didn't cut it, luckily. And we dug it out, exposed it. I called in a 3-hour ticket, because I got Rob Little's number from the gas company. He does site visits, checking on things. And anyway, I called in a 3-hour ticket. The gas guy come. Gas line's over here. I got a shovel sticking up the side of it. He comes, he locates, he marks it over here. The boss man, that ain't right. Well, that's where I'm picking it up. I said, take that shovel right there. I told my guys, take that shovel and uncover that line. The line comes, there's a tree out here and a sidewalk. He marks it over here going straight up that road. The gas line's over here and it's run on an angle, so it'll miss that tree. He marks it right here like this. It is running on an angle. So I said, the gas line's over here. I said, it's not over here where you marked it, but he got it right.
So they did verify that you were on the right gas line? I mean, it was a live gas line, it wasn't a deactivated line?
No, up behind them houses.
Thanks for doing that, Andy.
Sounds like a drop coming off the main line.
It was,
Yeah.
but it feeds up behind them houses,
What size line was it?
which
Yeah, that's a
it
main.
wouldn't have been a
Yeah.
good day,
Yeah.
not in a neighborhood.
That's the problem. A lot of times they don't catch those.
The laterals coming off.
laterals coming off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and that, bigger than a 1/4 inch line. I mean, that's a 2-inch going into serving, but they're gonna be, but yeah, that's pretty serious.
Yeah, I mean, if we'd hit it, I mean, it was on what it is, and it's in a subdivision. Of, cluster homes in this subdivision, and they've got back streets, and that's usually where the gas and the phone and power and everything runs. It's just, where everybody comes in the back of their houses off that street, But now our water is on the sides and in the front, so usually I don't have to worry about it. It could have been a bad day.
Yep.
You got anything else, Andy?
Uh,
Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Robert.
Yeah, I was just gonna give y'all a few updates real quickly. I'm gonna start with the opposite from what I've been starting. You might start seeing there's a lot of company, well, NCDOT is one of them. I know Dominion's considering it. Piedmont has done it, Piedmont Natural Gas. They are starting to look at more, especially from the engineering standpoint, subsurface utility engineering. And that is getting an accurate horizontal alignment of the lines, including it would have caught that lateral coming off. But I'm telling everyone, because some of this could come into play where you could get out there and see flags. But even though it's subsurface utility engineering, they're getting accurate alignments. That does not take the place of 811 at all. That's for engineering purpose, but so just keep in mind that the subsurface utility engineering from what I'm seeing, is increasing. And Piedmont, Dominion, a lot of the gas companies are starting to go that way from an engineering purpose. Does not take place of 811. So just clarification on that. Give y'all just a little update. I was been telling people at the other UCC meetings on a Saturday morning, I look at all of us. I was 30 years with NCDOT. Now I'm with Colliers Engineering Design, but I look at all of us as stewards to protecting other utilities, protecting the highway. And I had left my house and was driving by about 7 a.m. in the morning, and I noticed a boring crew setting up. But the one thing that I went on down the road, and the one thing I kept thinking, I said, I didn't see any flags. I don't think I even saw any paint. So I debated, do I turn around? Do I not turn around? I turned around, went back. Sure enough, there was not a ticket called in at this location. It took me, honestly, 20 minutes plus. I could not find anybody speak. No one spoke English at that site. Finally, somebody did come up, but then I'd call a neighbor of mine that was with the sheriff's department. I don't have the authority to tell someone to stop. But I couldn't even communicate with these folks. But they were not at the right location. This outfit did have a couple miles down the road, there was flagging, there was paint. I don't know how they ended up at the wrong location, but somebody did come up that could, and so just keep in mind, we're all stewards and we do have to take responsibility to stop and go, hey guys, and just explain about 811. You got to call these tickets in. And last, just to let you know, again, this doesn't take place at 811, but the NCDOT is looking on an initiative of project delivery, project acceleration. And the NCDOT is building a GIS data bank, about 800 layers, just multiple layers of information. Well, some of those layers are utility layers, and the DOT has an initiative to go out and collect utility mapping data, electronic data that can go into the system. Now that is secure data, is not open to the public. It's not open to anyone with the exception of the Department of Transportation. So when they're planning a project, when they're looking at it, they're collecting data that they'll know what's out there and how to avoid it. They weren't designed projects to start avoiding utilities, to start saving the taxpayers and ratepayers money. Because if they have to move a utility, it costs us. So these are some initiatives the NCDOT is taking. So that's pretty much just throwing that out at you, just let you know from my end things that are going on.
So you're with,
I'm now with Colliers Engineering and Design, but I've been with them for 5 years, but I'm still tied in as sort of a liaison to the NCDOT and helping them get the information out about Project Atlas.
I know I had a meeting the other day. They're fixing to do a road culvert on the road, and I met with them. They did a webcam deal, they got a project they're gonna start sometime up here in the future, which we're gonna have to move, the water line. Actually, I got two, they're gonna have to move water lines on. One's up on Duke Road, the other's on Beecham Road. Because they're putting in box culverts and taking out the bridge.
Right. And and it's sometimes you can't avoid things of that nature when you're putting in a box culvert. That's going to conflict with the utilities unless they're deep enough to avoid it. But usually there's no way around that.
Well, the biggest thing is the wing walls that they're gonna add to that box, gonna make it difficult for the water lines laying now.
So, that's usually a conflict. We're gonna have to relocate. And again, sometimes that can get expensive, especially if you're looking at a rock bed creek and initially had to drill that creek and now they're gonna do it again. Sometimes those costs can greatly increase the impact on now, if it's a county line, this NCDOT actually has to pay 100% for the relocation of county lines. And other municipalities too, depending on the size, but still, it's costing us, no matter how you look at it.
And we got another project too. They're fixing to realign Baltimore Road and add an interchange on the interstate. I don't know when it's coming up, but they're surveying on it now.
It's good stuff. I would, as Harris was saying, I'd start telling people about, trying to get the word out about this meeting. Because, I just got a text from the Mecklenburg County meeting. Every seat is filled up. They've got a really good attendance for that meeting.
Roger Richards,
Mecklenburg County
he's the
is
chairperson for that. He's really good, so.
And the same thing can happen back at this meeting, because I'd hate to see it, well, now we're gonna go to Piedmont, you get more attendance just because people see, oh, it's at Piedmont. Just gotta start getting the word out, telling people that, look, this is a forum where we can cross-reference and talk about the problems we're having. And so we used to have attendance from DOTs, used to have a huge attendance.
That's the way it was here. I mean, DOT used to come, Town of Mox used to come, Winston would come. Some people come from, which I think Yadkin's somewhere else now, right? Or they don't Yadkin, are they still into this?
No. So it was 4 counties originally. And they took that one county off, and it's on the western part of North Carolina now. And then I took over the 3 counties. Yep. So Brian had it originally. Yep.
Down, even before Brian had it, it started dwindling.
Yeah, COVID really took a hit on everybody from a standpoint of meetings of this type.
But, it's like the flu, it's here to stay.
Yep. But I'm not gonna allow COVID or anything else to dictate.
I'm sorry, I'm texting back and forth with Herman and trying to get him onto this meeting.
I've been 3 calls by the same person. That can be.
Also, phone companies, they're pretty bad about, you've seen all those data watt tickets.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Data Watt is doing the Yadtel, just like you said, and you're doing Diversified. Is doing Duke Energy's thing here.
Yeah. All 300 of them. Yeah.
So you're getting them as well. Yeah. Let me go. You said they called them in today, so let's go to. Yeah. Let's go to the 20th and just refine this search a little more. Y'all not supposed to be seeing this, so I'm gonna stop my recording because y'all not supposed to be seeing this.